All right, GPU mining community. So if you've seen any of my videos in the last couple weeks or been following any of my posts on the Twitter X there, you know I've been talking a lot about Quai GPU mining lately. The good news just kind of keeps on rolling in on that front. We've had a couple different public miner softwares released. We got SRBMiner and Wildrig Miner. We're just playing with that today and got that working. We have a public mining pool. Lucky Pool is alive and well. There may or may not be another pool coming soon. TM, very soon, TM. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is I know different people have different hardware or don't have different hardware, so I did a video about how to get your own virtual private server. They're pretty cheap, and spin up your own node and mine to your own node. A healthy network is a decentralized network, and so the more nodes we have online that we all are mining to, the better. And Quai network is very unique. At least in my opinion, I've never seen or heard of work shares, and so I'm really interested to see how this plays out in mainnet. Really for the small home retail miner like me and probably most of you watching this. So what I want to cover in this video is how to hop on CLORE. If you guys have ever heard of CLORE.AI, CLORE.AI marketplace, and get yourself a GPU or multiple GPUs or a server as well, and how to just use CLORE, which as far as I can tell is the cheapest way to purchase a GPU, or excuse me, rent a GPU online and hash to your node, or you can use a public mining pool. In this video, I'm going to do it to my own node. I got a couple nodes running, and so I want to show you guys how to get a GPU rented and deployed on CLORE. It's simple and it's easy, and you don't need to be intimidated by this. So whether or not you have 0 GPUs physically, or you have a lot of GPUs and maybe you just want to test out. Maybe you want to test out a 4090 before you buy one, right? Why not go on CLORE and rent one and do it? And so I checked Vast.ai. A 4090 is running around $5 for 24 hours. I'm renting one right now for $2.80 a day, paying in Bitcoin. And so I'm going to show you guys how to get CLORE rented and mining to your own node, or you can do a public mining pool too, whatever works best for you. All right, let's get into it.
Alright guys, first thing we need to do is come on over here to CLORE.AI. This is where we're going to rent our GPUs on the marketplace here. You're going to need to make an account. I'm not going to walk through how to do that in this video. It's very simple. Just make yourself an account. And before you get started shopping for GPUs, make sure excuse me, that you come into your account landing page here and top it up with some BTC. I tried to use CLORE. I had 250 CLORE in here, but it wasn't letting me start an instance or rent a server with the CLORE. So I did it with BTC because I noticed it said you need to have a minimum amount of Bitcoin to start it up. So just do yourself a favor and deposit some Bitcoin in here before you get started. You just click this deposit address and obviously just send it here, and then it's Bitcoin, it's slow, so just give it a little bit. Then we're going to come on over to the marketplace. Alright, so the marketplace is where we're going to come to rent our GPU and server, if you will. I am currently trying to grab 4090s. I have one already, but you can choose your thread count, all these different filters you can filter by for your server. I'm just looking for the 4090s, like I said. As far as I've been able to find, I've only been looking the last day or two, but CLORE.AI seems to be the cheapest at the moment. If there's other services that are cheaper, just let me know and I'll look into that. But Vast is $5 a day for the 4090. So you got your specs here. So this is an AMD Ryzen 9 3900X, 129 gigs of RAM. It's got your CPU cores and thread count, your hard drive speed and size, and then your upload and download speed, right? And then these are the prices and specs for each individual server. There's these OC settings. I'm not exactly sure how this works. I've heard that it's a pre-programmed OC that's put in by the person who's hosting the server, and so don't quote me on that, but I'm wondering how helpful that will be. if it's a pre-programmed overclock, that's for an algorithm that is like, you know, a core focused algorithm, and then you're trying to do something that's a little bit more memory focused, or, you know, in this instance we're doing proc-pal. So I don't think you can just, like, you know, lock your core clock and do your core offset, or lock your memory, your mem lock, like we like to, but I'm not positive. I haven't tested that yet. So anyway, once you pick the server that you would like to use, then you're just going to go ahead and click on rent. Then once you click rent, you're going to see your machine specs here. Just verify those are all accurate. Mine all are here. And then from there, there's a couple different ways that you can do this. So you can use the custom CLORE.AI image. That is the method that is talked about and shown here in the Quai docs. And so if you want to go that route, I tried it twice and I couldn't get it to work for some reason. I think it might have been a dependency issue, because when I ran the deploy miner script, the output folder never showed up, and I remember having that problem before. And so what I ended up doing, which I thought was a little bit easier, was to just go ahead and use the Jupyter Notebook Ubuntu 20.04 version. But for those of you that want to try using the custom image, it should be quite simple. I guess I was doing it wrong or something. I don't know. There might just know that there might be a dependency issue there. You would just copy and paste this into the custom image section here, and then you would add in each of those 3 environmental variables right here. So you would do platform U for NVIDIA cards. This is a 4090, so what I would do is type in platform here, and then the value would be U, and you would click add. And I would do that for each 3 of these. I would do the stratum IP, so I would do stratum IP here, and then I would do US1 alpha pool.tech as the pool server, and then you would do the stratum port here as well, right? And it's 333 for most of us, and you would add those in, and then you would create. However, that was not working for me, so I ended up doing the Ubuntu Jupyter Notebook version, and you guys can do whatever works best for you. If you want to do the custom image or this Ubuntu 20.04 method, I prefer just using regular old vanilla Ubuntu 20.04, so I can kind of get in there and do what I want to do. So make sure that you store this password, and the Jupyter password and the SSH password. You will definitely need this SSH password, and I'm actually not 100% sure how to get back in and see it again, so just make sure before you click create that you save these so you can copy and paste them or whatever. So once you have that all down, you can just go ahead and click create. Then once you create, come on over here into your main account overview page, and we're going to find the order that we just made. You're going to come on down to your servers, click see all servers, and then my orders. And now we're going to SSH into the server that we just deployed. So in order to do that, you're going to need a terminal. So you can use PowerShell, which is what I'm about to use here, or Visual Code, or the regular command prompt, whatever floats your boat you can use. So you're going to need that password that I told you to save a second ago. So now you're going to do SSH root at the name of the server here. So you can just copy and paste this in, and then you will need that password from a second ago. So you will copy and paste that in because you listened to me and you saved that. and then you are in. Boom. Alright, so I've actually just switched over to Visual Code, but this is a terminal. It's exactly the same as if you're in PowerShell. You can download Microsoft Visual Code for free if you want to use it, and then SSH into your server that way. So now what you're going to want to do is you can just change the directory to the home directory. I think what I'm going to do, because I'm doing multiple miners, is we're going to make a directory here and just call it miners, and then we're going to cd to miners, okay? And we should have nothing in here. It's a clean directory, and we are going to start with SRBMiner first. So in order to do that, we're going to come on over to the GitHub Doctor 83, SRBMiner multi GitHub page here, and we are going to find the latest release here. It looks like this one. We want the tar.gz file, so we can copy the link address and then get on this file, the tar file, and it should download good, and that happened pretty fast. And now we are going to unzip the file, so we're going to do tar zxvf and then the SRBMiner. It's capitals in case sensitive environment here, and we're going to unpack it. Boom. And now, friends, we have SRBMiner. So we're going to go ahead on over into that directory, and we are going to run SRBMiner. Okay, so you see how this green executable file here at SRBMiner itself, that is what we're going to run. I believe it's called a bash command on, so you'll do / SRB multi, and then we need to tell it what to do. So the algorithm is going to run, you're going to do -- algorithm, and then it is progpow _ Quai, and then we're going to tell it what pool to mine to. So you would do -- pool. I'm using my pool that I'm building, alpha pool .tech. So you actually, you do stratum / US1 is the server for this, alpha pool .tech / 3333. You would do the IP of your node if you're doing your personal node, or if you're using Lucky Pool, you would do it however you enter it in for Lucky Pool. And then I don't think it'll run without like at least a worker or wallet, but it doesn't matter, because if it's your personal node, your wallet's already in the node. And then for Lucky Pool, they'll tell you how to do it, and once Alpha Pool's live, I'll tell you how to do it for that as well. And so I'm just going to do worker and then 4090, and there you have it. That should be the necessary flags to run the miner. So let's go for it. And there we go. Our 4090 is running and connected. Awesome. So that is how you get everything set up in CLORE with your SRBMiner. So let's do a Wildrig multi-miner now and get that running. So before we hop over to setting up Wildrig, it looks like that in the software we're getting 403 watts of power draw for 64.23 mega hash. Okay, and this is with SRB. So let's see what we get with Wildrig Miner. So just so you guys know, the way to get all the parameters is in the GitHub for whatever miner software that you're using. So now we're going to, let's just search for GitHub Wildrig Miner, since that is what we want to get next. Yes, this is the correct one. So we're gonna come over and let's just make sure, yeah, this is the latest. And so we're going to copy this link address for the tar, and then once we have the link, we're gonna come on over here back into our server and our terminal, and we're actually gonna stop. So I just did Control-C. We're going to shut down SRBMiner there, okay? And now we actually want to back out into the directory above SRB. We don't want to be in SRB, and we're gonna do wget and the link that we just copied for Wildrig Miner. Boom. That was pretty fast, okay? And let's see what we got. Okay, there it is. So now we need to unpack it, and it's not a tar.gz, it's a tar.xz there. So we're going to do tar-xvjf on Wildrig Miner, and there we go. We have our files all unpacked here into this miners directory, and we are going to run Wildrig Miner with this command, with the bash command here, Wildrig multi, and we need to tell it what to do. So the algorithm is --algo progpow not underscore, it's underscore for SRB, it's -Quai, and then the URL, so you'll do --URL stratum. Wildrig needs stratum TCP : and then I'm using my pool, alpha pool .tech, with the US1 server and the 333 stratum port, and then you need to set a worker name, so I'm just doing 4090 here. If you're using Lucky Pool, you'll set this up for Lucky Pool, or if you're using your own node, you would just put your whatever port you have open for your Stratum proxy and your IP address here. And those should be all that you need to run Wildrig. And there we go. Oh, look at that. The dev fee is 75%, 0.75% there. And there you go. Our 4090 is running. Alright, let's give it a second and see what hash rate we get. So far we have 0.1% decrease in dev fee, so that's a plus for Wildrig. And then I guess we'll inspect power draw and how fast the hash rate is. So we'll give that a second and we'll see what the hash rate's looking like. Okay, and there you go. So we got about the same, it's about exactly the same, 64 mega hash at just about 400 watts there on Wildrig. So yeah, really not much of a difference between Wildrig and SRBMiner there. Alright guys, so there you have it. That is how you rent a GPU on CLORE.AI and how to set up both SRBMiner and Wildrig Miner. One thing I would say though is, if you have the time, maybe look into the overclocks, because here are my personal 4090s I have running on HiveOS here locally. And the overclocks make a huge difference, right? Like I'm getting 68 mega hash at 320 watts here, as opposed to both SRB and Wildrig through CLORE rented getting 64. So just 64 watts at 64 mega hash at 402 watts. So it's just a little bit more efficient to be able to run your own overclocks, as we all know. Alright guys, I will put all the links for the GitHubs and everything you will need in the video description below. And hopefully you guys can get up and running with CLORE. You can add some GPUs onto your farm, or if you don't have any and you want to mine to your node, or you want to mine to my pool or Lucky Pool, you could go for it. So alright guys, that's it. Happy mining.